Pull up any retirement calculator online, type in $500 a month, a 7% return, 30 years. It will give you a very confident number, $566,764. That number is a fiction because the market has never, not once, in any country, in any decade, delivered exactly 7% every single year. The real path is messier, and the difference between the clean number and the messy truth is what today's video is about. Here's the problem with a single number. If I told you your retirement will be worth $566,000, you would plan around it, you would retire at 65, you would spend accordingly, you would feel safe. But two people with identical savings habits, investing the same amount over the same timeline, can end up with wildly different balances. One might retire with $300,000, the other with $1.2 million. Same discipline, same contributions, same average return. The only difference is which years were good and which were bad. So the real question isn't, how much will I have? The real question is, what is the range of things I could reasonably end up with? B. And for that, we need a different tool. The tool is called Monte Carlo simulation, and it has a better origin story than almost anything in math. 1946, Los Alamos National Laboratory. A physicist named Stanislaw Ulam is recovering from an illness, and to pass the time, he's playing solitaire. He wonders, what are the odds I actually win this game? He tries to work it out with combinatorial math. The math is a nightmare, so he does something better. He just deals the cards 100 times and counts. He mentions it to his colleague, John von Neumann, one of the smartest humans who has ever lived, and von Neumann immediately sees it. This isn't just a card trick, this is a method. For any problem too tangled to solve analytically, you can simulate it thousands of times and read the answer off the statistics. They needed a code name for classified correspondence. Ulam's uncle was a gambler who used to borrow money to play at the casino in Monte Carlo. The name stuck. Today, that method runs inside nearly every retirement plan, every insurance policy, every AI training run, and every weather forecast. Not bad for a guy playing cards in a hospital bed. Here is the shift in thinking. A normal calculator gives you one line going up and to the right, nice and smooth. Monte Carlo gives you a fan. Imagine starting it today with your current balance and drawing not one future, but 1,000. Each one uses a different random sequence of market returns drawn from a realistic probability distribution. Some of those futures will get lucky, boom years stacked on boom years. Some will get hammered, a crash right at the start, compounding into mediocrity. Most will land somewhere in the middle. When you plot all 1,000 together, you get a fan of possible lives, spreading outward from today. That fan is your financial future, not one of those lines, not the average, all of them. And here's the punchline. Even with identical inputs, same starting balance, same monthly contribution, same 7% average, the top of the fan can end up 3, 4, even 5 times higher than the bottom of the fan. Same person, same habits, radically different outcomes. The only variable is luck. So how do you actually do this? It is genuinely simpler than it sounds. Step 1. Gather your inputs. Starting balance, monthly contribution, time horizon, expected average return, call it 7%, and volatility, which is just a measure of how much returns bounce around. For stocks, roughly 15%. Step 2. Simulate one possible life. For each month, draw a random return from a bell curve centered on your average. Apply it to your balance. Add your contribution. Repeat for 360 months. Write down the ending balance. Beat. That is one possible future. Step 3. Do it again. And again. 10,000 times. Each run is a different sequence of random returns. Each run produces a different ending balance. Step 4. Sort the results. The middle one is your median outcome. The worst 5% gives you a pessimistic floor. The best 5% gives you an optimistic ceiling. Now you don't have a number. You And do you have the view of a distribution? Let me give you a concrete example. 30-year-old Sarah, 500 a month, 35 years, run it 10,000 times and here's what you get. The median, the typical outcome, is around $900,000. The bad luck 5th percentile is around $400,000. The good luck 95th percentile is around $2.2 million. Beat. Same contributions, same discipline, a more than 5-to-1 spread. Sarah's retirement depends heavily on when she was born, not just how much she saved. Now, I'm going to show you the thing that makes Monte Carlo genuinely worth understanding. The thing a simple calculator can never tell you. Meet Alice and Bob. Both retire with $1 million. Both withdraw $50,000 a year. Both experience the exact same set of annual returns over 30 years. But the order is reversed. Alice gets the bad years at the start of retirement. Bob gets them at the end. Their average return is identical. Their total compounded return is identical. And yet, Alice runs out of money in year 18. Bob dies with $2.3 million left over. Same average, opposite outcomes. This is called sequence of returns risk, and it is invisible to every simple retirement calculator on the internet. Monte Carlo surfaces it because some of those 10,000 simulated paths will, by chance, front-load the bad returns. And those are the paths where otherwise sensible plans fail. The implication is sharp. A crash at 35 barely dents your retirement. A crash at 64 can end it. The 5 years on either side of retirement carry a weight that the average return number completely hides. Before I wrap up, I owe you the honest caveats. Monte Carlo is only as good as its assumptions. Feed it 10% returns and 5% volatility, and it will draw you beautiful nonsense. Use defensible numbers, roughly 6 to 7% real return, 15 to 18% volatility for stock-heavy portfolios. It also tends to underestimate the really bad years. Real markets have fat tails. Crashes like 1987, 2008, and 2020 happen more often than a neat bell curve would predict. Better simulations use historical returns directly or fatter tail distributions, and most importantly, a simulation showing a 90% success rate is not a 90% guarantee. It is a conditional probability. Conditional on your assumptions being roughly correct. The future you actually get is still just one draw from the bag. So what is Monte Carlo actually good for? It is a humility tool. It takes a single confident fantasy and replaces it with an honest range. It makes invisible risks visible. It lets you ask, before you commit, can this plan survive 10,000 versions of the future? Not just the one I was hoping for? Sorry, summer fur. So, here is the reframe. Monte Carlo doesn't predict your future, it prepares you for it. The goal isn't to aim at the best outcome, it's to build a plan that survives the worst ones. Your retirement isn't a number, it is a distribution. Your wealth is not a line, it is a fan. And the single most useful question you can ask about any long-term financial plan is not, what's the average? But, what does the bottom 10% look like, and can I live with it? If the answer is yes, you have a plan. If the answer is no, you don't have a plan, you have a hope. Run your own simulation. There are free tools in the description. Put in your real numbers. And whatever number comes out of the middle, remember that the full picture is the whole fan. I'll see you in the next one.